Kia ora koutou, Markie here with Gwendoline.
Kia ora.
And there's a reason that she's here. She's a special guest on this episode. But for those of you that don't know Gwendoline, she is my beloved and also my partner in crime in many different projects. And we have an exciting announcement coming up about that actually, but not in this video, maybe in the next one, so look out for that.
So true.
So I had a question. I like it when I get questions. Oh, that was interesting. That might have been. That is the sound, if you can hear it, if the camera's picking that up. It's actually very windy today, of a penguin.
Several.
Little blue penguins around here. And they often make even more sort of scary sounds, don't they?
Yeah.
When they get a few of them together, it sounds
story.
like Hammer House of Horrors. And Gwendoline has been known to flee in terror from penguins.
They're only about that big, though.
Yeah, they're little blue
they're
penguins.
Really cute.
They're the smallest penguins
but
many come by.
Yeah, they sound so creepy in the night.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, I've been known to run.
So I had a question, and it was along the lines of, how do you deal with having a parent that you, or maybe one or more parents that you are ashamed of? So you feel bad about your parents, and therefore you feel that on some level it reflects on you, that they're bad, and that therefore you must be bad because you come from them. You're organic. You're losing my wife a minute here. She's not in the screen.
Oh well, I'm letting you take the stage.
No, don't take the limelight off me. I don't know what I'm talking about. How do you deal with that? You feel bad. You feel that you've come from, your origin, your genetic material comes from somebody that's bad. And it was a difficult question to answer. So I thought I need to get help. I need to phone a friend. And so Gwendoline and I are both psychotherapists. Gwendoline's a better psychotherapist than me.
Oh no, that's not
is
true.
more highly trained. So no pressure at all. So I thought I'd bring her in to come up with all the answers. So is you chewing a sweet?
Maybe.
You're crunching a sweet while you're doing my video. Can't get the staff, can you?
I'm sorry. I hope you guys didn't.
Amateurs.
Is it divorce courts?
Well, no, but I might have to cut your fee for doing this video.
My fee? Oh, really? I'm so sorry, dear viewers. I apologise if you heard me slightly crunching. It's because I've been talking. I've just finished work for the day, so.
Don't give us some story.
It's a boss I've got.
Get yourself back in the screen so people can see it. Yeah.
But you've got to keep me on. Yeah, okay.
So I suppose we would say we've got different training in terms of psychotherapy. I'm what they call integrative, which is where you draw on lots of different schools of therapy. And do you want to say what you're...
Yeah, I think most of the viewers probably know, and
no, they don't. Most of them don't even know you because you haven't been around for a while.
well, so that's true, I suppose.
Give a proper. Come in the screen. Come in the picture.
Okay. I feel like I am in the picture.
Never work with children or animals or wives.
Very. That's charming, isn't it? What do you think about that, guys? Comment below. You think he's a naughty husband?
I'm a bad director.
All right, darling. Right. So yeah. Well. In case, for those of you who don't know, my name is Gwendoline. I'm a specialist psychotherapist. We're both specialist psychotherapists. I like to add that because our kind of breadth at this point, that we've, all the skills and the areas that we've worked in over the years are significant, right? And it's important just to, because we often talk about lots of different areas, and I think some people, especially people who are also in the field, might think, well, hang on, you just said you worked with transgender people who are trying to figure out their identity and then now you're talking about those who offend or something, but actually we cover all of those areas.
A bunch of specialisms,
which is through decades of doing this work, doing this mahi. So we both trained in the UK. My background is as a psychoanalytic psychotherapist. So yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing. Don't really want to get into all of that in terms of what that means.
Watch my video on what psychoanalysis is. So although it's not psychoanalysis, it's near as. So watch my video on psychoanalysis, and that will tell you. Which you filmed in the same location, actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
So what do you think? What would you say to somebody that presents with that problem?
I think really, I think, first of all, just allowing that individual to just experience that, really share what's in their heart about that, because sometimes when we carry feelings that are, and obviously multi-generational trauma is a whole area that's very, very real, and very valid. I'm just going to change positions for a second.
We're perched on some
penguin territory,
rocks in a very uncomfortable way to try and get the view behind and not to get eyesore. And it's really windy, so it's the only place we've been able to get to.
Luckily, I think the wind's dropped off, actually.
Markie, it has for a bit.
Yeah, we're not too blurry, guys, for you on the camera. It does look a bit
blurry, but then that's good, really, because Gwendoline is easier on the eye than me. I'm kind of grizzled and not very
It's a blurring effect. It's a softening.
Whereas, it hides all my defects by hiding my face. So, but Gwendoline is the pretty one out of the two of us.
Oh, I think you're pretty too.
Well, you're embarrassed the viewers. But thank you.
So guys, I think, because this is something, I think you could look at it from so many different angles. And when Mark shared that this was the theme he wanted to go with, I immediately thought about, papers that I've kind of, haven't really delved deeply into this, but I remember coming across a psychoanalytic paper about the theme of people who have parents or even grandparents who were in wars, or were even the perpetrators of really some things that we'd consider atrocities, and that kind of energy being in the family. So sometimes these things become family secrets, that you might not consciously know exactly what happened or what your grandfather or even your father did during the war. But I think it's very valid if there's a sort of sense of, I feel like that's me as well. What if I was going to be that violent, or what if that's in me, that I could potentially do these things? So I think this is one of those areas, as is the case often, I think, in therapy, where it's important just to go blah and get it all out, get out all the stuff that feels illogical, and because it's just very emotive. If someone feels like that, then probably they've carried that idea for such a long time and maybe never articulated that. This is also really relevant to people who were obviously, a product of some sexual harm that happened to their mother, and maybe it was a time where they weren't allowed to have a choice about giving birth. And so that person was born knowing that maybe mother, felt kind of coerced.
I've tried to find other videos on this, but not had much success. There are some around, but there aren't that many that explore how you deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think, obviously this is an area that I would obviously say get actual psychotherapy or counselling with someone who's experienced. You can talk to a priest or someone like that if this is you, if you feel like, gosh, I can relate to this. Talk to the person who is most trustworthy. That's the key thing, right? But ideally, this is one of those areas that I would say, ideally, you do want a therapist. Sometimes you'll hear me and Mark say things like, talk to someone, we don't really care who, kind of thing, as long as you're safe enough. But this is one of those things where I feel you start pulling the thread and you find lots and lots and lots. And also because, as I mentioned, this idea of multi-generational trauma, that in a nutshell, Markie probably has content on this, but in my sense about multi-generational trauma, what do I mean? I mean that there's something in the family. Sometimes when we do work with patients, we find that, for example, all the women got pregnant at 15. That's a story that is carried through the family, and sometimes
wobbling the camera here because
it's all right.
We really are perched precariously here, and now I'm starting to ache, so I had to rearrange myself a little bit.
We really want to hear from you guys as well, because I think this is one of those things that, for me anyway, having been a content creator on YouTube, I'm not anymore, but my channel's still there. Guys.
Wait and see.
Yeah, well, I'm not my channel. My channel's not really happening much anymore. But the point is, I think this is one of those themes that is really helpful if you guys, as the viewers, kind of chime in and share how this touches you, if you feel safe enough to do that and you feel comfortable, and obviously being careful about what you share. But going back to my point, I was talking about...
we were talking a bit about children, we can say the R word on here.
Yeah, well, the R
This
word.
video doesn't get shown to anyone by YouTube anyway.
It
So
will.
we can
It
say
will
what we
be
want.
shown.
Jehovah.
Jehovah.
So
And-
children are the
Yeah.
product of rape. So your father
Yeah.
is a rapist.
Yeah. And that's it.
And here comes the wind. The
Here
weather
comes the wind.
is kind of didn't like that.
No, the weather's like, ooh.
Ooh.
Well, we know anywhere that anywhere that's had colonization, generally that R word is going to be prevalent as well. And we know this. You hear about it all the time, especially in the Congo and in Israel. We're hearing about that a lot. So war and colonization and the R word seem to go together. But actually, I was thinking about, multi-generational trauma. And even if you think you can't relate to the idea that, you feel badly that one of your parents has done something bad and you feel like that makes me bad, right? Even if that doesn't kind of connect with you, I think most of us have got something in the family that is either a family secret that's never been talked about, like my uncle was, my dad is an alcoholic and we never talked about it and he died at 60 and it was made into something else. All of these things get passed down, right? And in my experience as a therapist, they continue just to create havoc until that brave individual, and it's probably you watching this, because if you're watching content like this, you're probably a bit more thoughtful. It requires someone to have a bit of a thinking mind, someone who is curious about life, about why am I here, what am I doing, how do I feel, all of those things. And not everyone is like that. So if you're watching this, I'm going to assume that probably you're a thoughtful person. And I think it's often the thoughtful, sensitive person in a family who actually gets that energy of whatever the family secret was, whatever the dad who was, a perpetrator of sexual harm or whatever, you might be the one where you're thinking, oh my gosh, what does that mean? How does it affect me? Am I like that? What if I did,
What about kind of responses from the viewers, wouldn't you?
Yes.
It'd be interesting to hear if you are in that situation. So I suppose, one thing is,
if you're curious about that, then it's, explore that. And you can change it. You can change family trauma.
You could be the person that breaks the chain.
Yeah, but it's not easy work, which is why most people just never do it. And they'll just rather be a smoker, rather be promiscuous, rather be a drinker, anything to dull down the awareness so that you don't have to think about it. But if you're one of those sensitive people who do, then sometimes what I find is that all the energy is carried by that one individual. So actually, when they present in therapy to me, sometimes it's as though that they're not just doing their own work, they're doing their mother's work as well, and their grandmother's, because everyone got pregnant at 16 and nobody thought about it and everyone just trudged through life, and then you're the one who's like, hang on a minute, something's weird about this, right? So all I mean to say is that I have so much respect for those individuals who are brave enough to go, wait, hold on a minute, I'm not okay with this, or I want to think about this. But that's not easy, that's not an easy task. So I just wanted to introduce the theme of generational trauma as another approach to what Mark is talking about.
And I suppose what I'm hearing from you is that you're not looking at me and not looking at the boys and girls, and you're the only face on the screen. So your pretty face.
But why don't we have both of us in there?
No, because I can't.
Do you want me to hold it?
I can't fit us both in right now.
I'll hold it.
Well, what I think
light.
I'm hearing you saying is that if you're asking this question, you're already on the way to the solution.
Yes,
because your consciousness of it.
Yes, exactly.
And I suppose, it's about choice, isn't it? Whether you follow the bad habits of your parents is very much about choice. There are habits and there are predispositions, but ultimately you do have choice over that. And I suppose it's what happens, isn't it? People often, if they've had bad upbringing, they say, well, they either repeat it with their own children, or they say, I'm never going to do that with my children. I suppose the thing to be careful of in that case, I mean, we weren't specifically talking about children, but I think that's a factor in it.
Yeah.
Is not to go too far to the opposite extreme. So if your parents were super controlling, it's not a good idea to be super liberal, because that's kind of a form of abandonment. If you just say to your children, well, whatever, you can go and play with a flick knife on the central reservation of the motorway. That's abusive in itself. It's just the other end of the spectrum. It's the abandonment rather than the abuse and harassment. So just be careful about that balance. But there are, there may be kind of behavioural and genetic predispositions within you that come from your parents, but if you're conscious and you try and remain as conscious as you possibly can, that's going to make a huge difference. And I think the other thing you kind of said or started to say was get therapy.
Yeah.
If you have a worry that you're going to turn out, you're worried that you're going to do something really abusive, really horrible,
Yes.
get some therapy on your, because people that do bad stuff are people that are damaged.
Exactly. Ultimately.
Yeah, in one way or another, not irreparably, but there's wounds, and people who are wounded wound other people. So not always, but in some cases. So if you're worried that you're going to wound other people, work through your stuff through therapy.
I just wanted to add something to what Mark said as well about the idea of, if you had a really strict, controlling upbringing, that you end up being really relaxed with your children. I think for me, what always that brings up is that, that's still a family pattern, because you haven't chosen, you've just done the opposite of what was done to you. That's still not
If it's
a conscious.
just a knee-jerk,
that's not a conscious.
Sometimes it's conscious, though, isn't it? Sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it."
But
make a bad, but go over the top. And sometimes people are unconscious. So it
Yeah,
can be both,
yes. I think that's true, Markie. And I guess what I'm saying is it's not, so maybe conscious isn't the right word. It's more about, it's more about the fact that you need to, if you have a little person that you are caring for, it's about who are they, not about what happened to you, so you're going to do the opposite to them. It needs to be thought through. So even if you think about it first, I would say that's not really what I mean when I say conscious. I think I'm talking about starting at ground zero or from neutral, which you can't really do if you've got a lot of baggage, psychological baggage. I think that's the point, really.
So
you just can't
clean
you can
out
try,
some of
but it won't work.
this stuff. It can be cleared. It's not necessarily there forever.
Yeah.
Some of it's nature, some of it's nurture, and certainly the nurture stuff is easier to, and some of the nature stuff you can change as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the nurture stuff is massive impact, massively important. You guys probably know a little bit, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, that some of our genes are only switched on, as it were, based on our environment, based on what happens. So if your mother was R-worded when she was 12, and then as a result of that you're not aware enough to protect your child, and that whatever your mum's trauma was doesn't have to get activated in her grandchild, or unless the same circumstances arise, and then you find that actually something is switched on that needn't have been, but the environment kind of turned it on.
Epigenetics. So see, I didn't think of that. This is why I needed to get you in on this video.
Right.
Epigenetics. So epigenetics is the science of this.
Yeah.
That we've got a whole bunch of genes, and some get activated and some don't, according to our experience. So this is very much about so you
That's
might
nurture.
have you might have the inherited genes from your parents, but it doesn't mean they're going to get activated. Some will and some won't, and then some you can deactivate.
And you do that through psychotherapy.
Yeah.
So that's been proven through scientific data and research. You're actually going to change the neural pathways in your brain through good enough psychotherapy. Not crappy psychotherapy or crappy psychiatry, or a lot of times people say, oh, therapy doesn't work, this doesn't work, and it doesn't work if it's poorly done. You need to have someone excellent. You need to have someone who knows what they're doing, who's capable, who's qualified, and who's actually really good at what they do. I mean, that's the thing that people don't always get, and I think that's what I love about the Retract team, because we are really good at what we do. So
really good team.
yeah.
Excellent. I think we managed to answer that one. You're not on the screen again. You're
but-
being shy.
Well, it's just sometimes
I want to
easier
see you
just to.
because I'm not the pretty one. You're going to get more views with your face on the screen than
don't know about
with my
that.
face on the screen. So look how blurry we are.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
think it's getting dark. I think
So,
let's see how it turns out.
yeah. So big thank you to Gwendoline.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Sorry about the production value of this. I mean, our production on this channel is always terrible, but this takes the biscuit. We've never been as blurry as this before. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Kakite, everyone. Thank
Rangimarie.
you.